Hello, and welcome back to the show. You are tuning in to Creatrix TV, and I'm your host, Katryn Rose, formerly known as Kat Moulton. And this show is really about helping women, especially anyone, but our focus is women, on remembering who you truly are. Why is that important? Because the world needs women who are fully awake, dangerously alive, and unified in heart and purpose. So today we're going to jump cut. We're not going to talk about purpose or legacy like we've been talking about. We're going to go back to manifestation and creation. And the reason why I want to talk about that is there's a lot of misconceptions and different viewpoints on what manifestation actually is. And, it's okay to have your own opinion of that. It might differ with mine, but I invite you to tune in because we're going to talk about it from the vantage point a little bit of intention and energy, one of my favorite topics. And really, it's about creating your own reality. You might have tuned into a couple of other episodes, and one where I talked recently to a gentleman who talked all about the action part of it, which I loved. So go back and watch that with Gunther Mueller if you are interested. Today, I want to talk a little bit about setting the stage, exploring the power of manifestation and how it can transform your life. A lot of this work I do is transformative and knowing thyself, right? The other thing we're going to touch on is understanding the role of energy and intention in creating this reality for yourself. And that is important because we need to take ownership of our thoughts, our emotions, and our mindset. I help you master your energy, mindset, and emotions. And when we do that, we really can create a life that we love or a business that creates impact. Part of the people that I work with are really people who want to curate a more beautiful world, create spaces that feel better, that are for the highest good of all people. And, there's places for all things, but that is who I am speaking to today. So if you want to create a more beautiful world for you, your loved ones, your community, the world at large, tune in. And let's talk about this. And we might end up doing it in 2 parts or 2 episodes. So in setting the stage for this, when we manifest anything and we get clarity, we have to have a starting point. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the starting point. I'm going to define some of these words for you as they mean for me. So we're going to explore the power of manifestation and really transforming your own life, understanding this role of energy and intention to create your reality, like I said. In a world filled with endless possibilities where we can get overwhelmed with all the choices and untapped potential, the concept of manifestation has emerged, right, as this profound tool for transforming our lives or for getting what we want. And it's deeper than that. It's a process that allows us to consciously create and shape our reality by harnessing the power of energy and intention. And through manifestation, we have the ability to bring our desires, our dreams, and our aspirations to life. It is the art of co-creating with the universe, and it's aligning our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions to manifest the life we truly desire. We have to take action, the right action, the inspired action, or as Gunther had said, obvious action. So on that note, manifestation, it's not mere wishful thinking or a magic potion. Rather, it's this dynamic and intentional internal process, and it requires our active participation. And so it really invites us to recognize the incredible power we all possess within us, like in here, to shape our own reality or to change things that we don't like. And so by understanding and harnessing this power, we can unlock our full potential to transform our own lives in profound ways and the world around us. At the core of manifestation lies the fundamental principle that energy is everything, and everything is energy, right? From the thoughts we think to the emotions we feel, all aspects of our existence, right? They emit an energetic vibration. And this vibrational energy constantly interacts and resonates with the vibrational frequencies of the universe and those around us. So what we emit, we attract, we call in, we bring in. In order to fully grasp the magic of this manifestation, we really have to recognize the intricate dance between energy and intention. So our thoughts, our beliefs, and our emotions are energetic frequencies, and we send these out into the world. They are signals to the universe, and it draws back experiences and circumstances that are a vibrational match for us. Our intentions act as powerful beacons, these beacons of light, guiding the energy towards manifesting our desires. So it's really important to go back to get to know ourselves, unlearn all this programming that I talk about sometimes, and finding out what our own values are, what matters to us, and not doing or being or showing up the way other people tell us we should. Okay. So imagine your mind as a garden, right? And your thoughts, they're seeds. So what you plant, nurture, and cultivate within your mind will determine the quality and the abundance of fruits you harvest in your life. So negative thoughts and doubts can sow seeds of limitation, lack, and struggle. Ooh, we're going to do a whole episode on struggle because I was the queen of that for a long time. And I'm really here to show you as living proof that you can release those struggles. You can release those thoughts of limitation and lack and move forward. Because positive thoughts infused with belief and intention can blossom, right, into a garden of abundance. Abundance doesn't necessarily mean money, but it means all the things that we appreciate and acknowledge and show up for us in life. So we create this garden of abundance, of joy, and fulfillment. By becoming more mindful of our thoughts, it always goes back to our thoughts, right? And consciously choosing the seeds that we plant, we get to shape the landscape of our lives. So manifestation is really inviting us to move beyond the realm of wishful thinking and step into the power of deliberate co-creation. Really, it beckons us to become these conscious creators and to get really clear. And we do this by aligning or realigning our thoughts, our beliefs, and our emotions. And of course, our actions. We cannot forget the action part. And we align it with the desires of our hearts. Oh, go back and listen to the first season. We talked a lot about the energy of the heart. And the other thing it does, it requires us to take responsibility for our own energy and our intentions and recognize that we hold the key to unlock the doors of possibility for ourselves by harnessing our energy, by getting really clear with our intention. Okay. We get to, when we do this, bring our dreams to life. And I may have said that before, but I think that that's a point that we always overlook. A lot of people, we're going to touch upon what the 7 more common things people want to manifest are, but some of it is about dreams, and it's not dreams of the things that we have, but how we want to feel and the type of people we want to share our time with and collaborate with. So as we embark on this journey, right, of manifestation, it's really crucial to embrace patience, trust, surrender. The universe, and I've learned this through a lot of situations, it operates on its own divine timing and wisdom as well. And that's why we want to do this co-creative aspect of it. Sometimes what we desire might manifest, instantaneously. Not always, right? Other times it takes much longer than expected because there might be lessons and situations that are here to teach us along the way. Because in addition to manifesting, and a lot of people manifest from the ego, there are soul contracts and things that we agreed to do here in 3D before we came to Earth School or planet Earth. And those may change the trajectory of how things unfold for us. So learning to work with energy on different levels can be really important, and helping us understand too, that when things haven't manifested the way we wanted them to, there might be other reasons for that. And it's not that we're manifesting wrong. And that's one of my frustrations with the whole manifestation philosophy out there right now, is that you will find coaches or healers or people that tell you, oh, you're manifesting wrong. And that's not necessarily the case. So we need to take ownership of our actions, of our emotions, our energy, and really learn about ourselves and what we came here to do. And really, I'm going to invite you to trust that the universe knows precisely or exactly what it's doing. And it knows how to deliver our desires for us, even when it doesn't align with our mind's linear interpretation or expectation of what we want. So we're going to explore a little bit this art of setting intention, visualizing your desired outcomes, embracing the power of gratitude. We hear about that so much. It is so important. Gratitude shifts our vibration, but it's hard to be in the energy of doubt and lack and anger when we are in the energy of gratitude. And if you've listened before, you know on the map of consciousness, gratitude is a much higher frequency than some of these lower vibrating emotions like shame or guilt or anger or resentment. We all go there. How do we lift ourselves up and keep cultivating these higher levels, these higher octaves, these higher vibrational frequencies? To create this abundance mindset, get clear on what abundance really means to you, and aligning all of our beliefs and our actions with these desires. Okay, so I'm going to skip through some of our notes. I want to touch on, before we wrap, like I said, we'll continue this in a second episode, but manifesting 101, some of the basics. We'll just define a little bit of manifestation for my interpretation, but also energy and intention. And then I want to shine some light on or explore demystifying or some myths and debunking these, what can trip people up. And share a little bit about the reality, or at least my version of reality. Yours may be different. And then we will explore some fundamental principles. So manifestation defined. Manifestation is the process of turning thoughts, desires, and intentions into reality. It involves harnessing that power of your mind, your emotions, and your beliefs, and again, actions, to attract or create the circumstances, experiences, or outcomes of your desired life. The concept of manifestation is based on the belief that our thoughts and energy have the ability to shape our external reality by consciously directing them, our focus, and aligning our thoughts and emotions with what we want to achieve or attract. We can bring these desires into our life. And I want to highlight that I touched upon emotions, not just mindset. We've talked about in other episodes, if you know me, that it's our emotions that dictate our energetic frequency. So it's beliefs and it's emotions. They are interlinked. Manifestation often involves identifying your goals, setting clear intentions. I cannot stress clear enough. Everything you say is a prayer. Alana von Sant will tell you that. Everything you say is a prayer. So if you are not clear, what you're speaking into the universe still shows up. So set clear intentions, visualize your desired outcome, and take inspired action, or again, that obvious action towards your goals. This also entails cultivating a powerful, positive mindset and believing in the possibilities, because when we don't believe, it doesn't come, right? And then maintaining, again, that sense of gratitude, because that gratitude opens up the receptors of receiving. While manifestation is often linked with, abundance or financial things and material things. It is way more than that, right? That really limits us. It encompasses many aspects of our life, including health, relationships, personal growth, career, and really our overall well-being. So ultimately, manifestation, it involves actively participating in creating our reality and consciously shaping our life through this intention and then being in alignment with our beliefs. So let's define what intention is. Intention, in the context of manifestation specifically, is a focused and deliberate mental or emotional state that represents your desired outcome or goals. So it is a conscious choice, or the conscious choice, to direct your thoughts, beliefs, and actions towards something specific, or the realization of that. And intention serves as the guiding force that shapes our energy and directs it towards a particular objective. So not just a financial thing, like what is our objective? It goes beyond, as mentioned before, the mere wishful thinking, and involves a deep sense of purpose. That's why we talk a lot on this show about purpose. It also involves clarity, again, and commitment to yourself, to others, and to your beliefs. So in setting an intention, you align your thoughts, emotions, and get this, behaviors with what you want to create or attract into your life. Intentions are typically formulated in the present tense. So I talk a lot about language. We'll save that for another time, but, use present tense language as if the desired outcome has already been achieved. So don't say want where you're future thinking. Don't think wish. Don't use the language of can't or trying. Use it as I have, it is, I am. We'll dive into language in a separate episode, like I said. But this language and this mindfulness of language really helps us create a strong energetic resonance with the intention. And then that communicates to the universe that you are ready for the manifestation, like here, now, in present time. And that's very important, being present. So intention, it encompasses not just mental declaration, but also this emotional connection. We cannot skip over that. And I think that's why a lot of people don't, quote unquote, manifest what they want, because their emotions are not in match with some of the thoughts or the desires. It involves, right, this manifestation piece, infusing your intention with positive emotions, as we've touched on, such as joy, gratitude, and an unwavering belief that you can have what you want. And this amplifies your manifestation potential. Again, sometimes things may not work out as you want. Deeper reasons for that. But by setting clear and be specific in a networking group that I'm in, I learned this term. Specific is terrific. Be clear and specific. And these intentions allow you to focus on the outcome, right? And what we focus on, our energy goes to. So continue to focus that. Be clear, set intentions, and do it on things that truly matter to you with that energy of the heart, because that can make a huge difference on creating a life that you love. And because it's providing a framework for your subconscious mind and the universe to work together and bring you these desires. It kind of together, they act as a magnet to attract and aligning opportunities for you, these synchronicities, and they become resources that support the manifestation process. And I think that's sometimes what we forget, that this is a process. It's not like an instant one and done. And that's when I talked about earlier, the patience piece, becoming patient and waiting for things to unfold and show up, right? So overall, Intention forms the cornerstone of manifestation, and it encapsulates, your conscious choices to bring out these specific desires, harness the power of your thoughts and emotions, and serves as that magnetic force that aligns with you, the circumstances, and opportunities and experiences that lead to the realization of your aspirations. And I just want to touch on the opportunities piece, because sometimes I feel like people think, oh, things will just fall in our lap. The car, the money, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, they just fall. No, when we see or follow the synchronicities, sometimes something that shows up, it's an opportunity. And then we have to step in and take the action and do the work to receive the thing that we want. So manifestation, look for opportunities to get you where you want. Okay, our last big definition for this episode is energy. And we're going to define it a little, but like I said, the last 2 years, we've been talking a lot about energy. Energy, as it correlates to manifestation, refers to the vibrational frequency or life force that permeates in all things in the universe, right? It includes, again, our thoughts, our emotions, and physical matter. It is the subtle, energetic essence that underlies everything, and it interconnects every aspect of creation. I did a whole interview on someone about life force energy. And if you want to learn more about it, you can go back and listen to some of the episodes on the individual chakras. I think I've worked chakras 1 through 5 so far. But in the context of manifestation, energy is really believed to play a crucial role in shaping the reality. And we cannot overlook that. Energy is the driving force that interacts with all these things, the intentions, the thoughts and emotions. It's the energy that weaves through and influences the outcome, of what we attract or what we want to create. So every thought, every emotion that we generate carries a specific energetic frequency. And that has the potential to manifest our external or outer experiences, but it all starts within here. So energy and manifestation can be understood through the principles of law and attraction, with how many of us have heard of that and are familiar with it, that like attracts like, meaning that the energy that we emit and put out into the universe calls in like energy. And we have to recognize it so that we can work with it, right? When we align our energy with what we desires and corresponding experiences, we create a resonance and we keep creating it, and it builds, that it attracts and manifests our intentions. And then we have to be able to follow that energy and be like, oh, it's here. And again, step in and say yes and take action. So it is essential to know about energy that it is not limited to our individual consciousness, though. It extends beyond us, and it connects us to the collective energy of the universe. You hear us talk, or some of my guests talk about the collective. We have to be mindful of who's around us and the energy around us as well, because this can impact our manifestation or creation outcomes. The collective energy is often referred to as universal energy or source energy. And we're going to break this down, because the collective and collective energy, I think there's a subtle difference between that and true universal energy and source energy that's coming from above, source energy or around. It is everything, and all individuals can affect that. That's why you hear, like, if you've read the Map of Consciousness, or the book Power versus Force by David R. Hawkins, he talks about the map of consciousness in it. One person vibrating at a higher level and putting out, higher octave, higher elevated thoughts can affect a whole group of people. So the more people that we are around that have similar intentions, similar focus, similar levels of consciousness, where we sit in gratitude and enjoy and vibrate at that level, the more we can affect the outer world around us. And then we can learn to harness it and then direct our energy individually and collectively. So practices that you can use, such as visualization, meditation, affirmations, and energy healing techniques, help us raise this energetic vibration and aligns us with the frequencies of our desires. That's why clarity is so important. So we can cultivate positive energy. And in the next episode that we talk about this, we'll go beyond the positivity, but we cultivate a positive outlook and align energy. And when we do that, we really enhance our manifestation probability and capabilities, to create a general sense of well-being for the highest good of ourselves and all. And this helps us realize our intention. Okay, additionally, energy is believed to be influenced by some of these factors. Belief systems, right? One of my favorites, unconscious patterns. I've talked about this with some of my guests, and emotional states. This piece about unlearning the programming, peeling back the layers that I've talked about over the last year or so, that is really about tapping into the unconscious patterns. And sometimes we need guidance for that and helps because we can't always see them. So for example, limiting beliefs and negative emotions can lower our energetic frequency, and potentially block or delay the things that we want to create. So it really becomes crucial to address these underlying patterns. But to do that, we have to become aware of them so that we can actually shift them. And these things can be a drain to our energy. And we need to, how shall I say, be willing to do the inner work. Out there in some of the coaching and healing space, it's like, I'm going to do this for you and just think this thing. But we have to do the inner work. It goes deeper than that. Some of the shadow work, some of the archetypical work, and find out what is blocking us. Why can't we maintain this constant energetic vibration or thought pattern that we want? We're not always aware. So be willing to do the inner work. All change is an inside job. I shouldn't say all change, but lasting change for what we want and what we want to create. It is an inside job. We have to be willing to show up and do the work to cultivate this positive outlook, this belief that we can have what we want, this belief that we can curate a more beautiful world together. So get in touch with what your own intention is and where your energy is vibrating, and that is about getting in touch with our own emotions, which for so many people can be scary because, we're humans. We've been through dark times, but I'm here to tell you the lighter times are on the other side. It is a choice and it is a process. So in summary, energy in the context of manifestation refers to the vibrational frequency that emanates from our thoughts, emotions, and intentions. And it is an invisible force, or the life force, that interacts with and attracts corresponding experiences into our reality. And understanding and consciously working with our own energy to help us align with our desires and co-create the life we vision. So really quick before we wrap, here we go. Now that we're in alignment with these basic overall bigger definitions, I'm going to quickly run through 7 common manifestation myths and what the reality is. And then we're going to finish this whole concept in another episode. So manifestation myth number 1, manifestation is easy and it requires no effort. I call BS. The reality is that while manifestation does involve tapping into the power of your thoughts and beliefs, it also requires a consistent effort, action, and alignment with your desires. We can break that down more if you reach out to me. Manifestation myth number 2. You can manifest anything instantly. And if you don't, you're doing it wrong. Wrong answer. Reality. Manifestation often takes time and requires patience. It involves aligning your thoughts, beliefs, and again, actions consistently over a period of time to bring about desired outcomes. Manifestation myth. Number 3, manifestation is purely about positive thinking. No, the reality. Though positive thinking is super beneficial, manifestation also involves addressing and transforming your limiting beliefs or negative thought patterns that might hinder your process. Okay, number 4, manifestation myth number 4. Manifestation means you can control everything in your life. In fact, it's the opposite. We have to be willing to let go of control. That surrender piece that we touched on is so important. So the reality, while manifestation empowers you to create change in your life or transformation, it doesn't mean that you can control all the outer circumstances or other people's choices. It's about creating shifts within yourself to invite change and new possibilities to open up. Manifestation myth number 5. Manifesting means you have to visualize perfectly. No, reality. Visualization is just one tool among many for manifestation, right? It may be helpful for some individuals, but there are various other techniques like affirmations, journaling, meditation that can be effective. So many more. If you need support, reach out to me or reach out to one of my guests that you've seen that, have some expertise in these areas. Manifestation myth number 6. Manifestation only involves positive thoughts. You should ignore negative emotions. No, it's not about ignoring what is happening in you. The reality, emotions, both positive and negative, serve as indicators on our path of alignment or misalignment with our desires. So acknowledging them and processing negative emotions can be essential for manifestation. And it allows you to release resistance and then shift toward the positive outcome. And lastly, manifestation myth number 7. Manifestation is solely an individual process. The reality, again, we touched on it. While you play a crucial role in manifestation, it doesn't mean you have to do it alone. So collaborating with supportive networks, seeking guidance from mentors, or participating in communities focused on manifestation can enhance your experience and your personal growth. So I'm going to wrap with that. We've been going for a while. I hope this has helped give you some clarity on what manifestation is, how you can start to help yourself really manifest and create. This show is Creatrix, how you can create the life, the vision that you have for yourself, your family, your community, the world. Next time, when we do this episode, part 2 of manifestation, we're going to talk a little bit about what most people want to manifest and why, and how you can make those shifts and dive deeper into the power of belief and mindset and limitation and things that have shaped that, and how you can begin to work with that and unravel the energy of that. So thank you for watching today. You can go to creatrix.club if you want to learn more, or just come back to Creatrix TV. We have a library of over 80 episodes of myself teaching and lots of fabulous guest interviews to support you on your personal transformation journey, your manifestation journey, your purpose, and your legacy, whatever it is. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. We will see you next time.